And on today's benchtop repair, we've got an old Boss CS3 compressor. Customer says wasn't working, wasn't doing what it needed to. So we've got it plugged in, going to do a little bit of a quick test and the likes. Well, it is bypassing, which is good. Nice. Bypass works. Compression. Yep, that's squishy. Super compressed. Press the bejeebers out of it. That buzzing there, that's just noise from the lights here. Right, pedal seems to be working, so there may be an issue on the customer's board. Seems to be doing what it needs to. Right, well now that's been tested, it's working. It's a little dusty, it's a little dank, a little weird. And this one is also a pedal that's been modified. Modified pedals usually mean poor quality connections inside or other sorts of issues that just make them not even worth the headache. Let's take a look inside and see what wonderful surprises await us on the PCB. Screws removed. Hey, plastic piece is still there. Good. Monty Alums. I can't say I've had good experience with these mods. Usually they're installed pretty poorly. And it's looking like this one is no exception. So if we're going top to bottom here on this board, first thing to note is just the absolute terrible state of these solder joints up top. Big old globular balls that look awful. So they've been touched up or repaired at some point, and they are not the only ones on the board this bad. Over on this side as well, that one doesn't even cover the entire pad. Looks like a couple of components have been replaced in doing the quote-unquote mod here. And when it's been done, it's just left with big, globular, awful bits of solder. So whoever did it had no idea how to solder. Put too much solder on there, not wetting it enough, not heating enough, heating it too much. I actually haven't heated this one up too much. Thankfully, there's no lifting traces, nothing burnt, nothing along those lines. But it just looks awful. These kinds of joints are also more prone to failure too. And if we look here, it looks like there's been a SIP chip, single inline package, that's been replaced, and the job on that is horrid. It's so bad that one of the joints here, where is it? Right there. Actually has a hole through it to the other side of the board. Hasn't fully been soldered the way it should be. Let's see what wonders the top side of the board holds for us. Well, that explains all those bodgy solder joints down the bottom. Replaced a bunch of the caps inside of there with some box type ones. I mean, not the worst things in the world. Personally, I would have gone for a brand name cap like a Panasonic or similar, or maybe a Weimer, because at least I know the quality is going to be there. You know, if we're going to put in all this effort to modify a pedal and, you know, quote unquote upgrade it, use brand name parts. I use brand name for the op amp. So we're going for a Burr Brown OP2134. Pretty fancy stuff. Found in a lot of sort of audio equipment and the likes, because these are a dedicated audio op amp, so they're called. Super low noise, designed mainly for audio bandwidth, etc, etc, etc. Is it going to make any real difference in a pedal like this? Probably not to the extent that going to all that effort to fit that in would do it. You'd be better off just replacing it with a TL072 or similar. You know, they're incredibly good quality Jelly Bean components, and they cost, you know, a tenth of the cost of something like a Burr Brown. A lot of this pedal's charm comes from its circuit, the way it's done, the way it's laid out. You know, it's a relic of its age. Upgrading an op amp and the likes in there isn't going to be some magic, you know, all-changing thing. There are so many things inside of the circuit that are going to limit what something like that will do. The noise, the hiss, all the rest, a lot of it comes from how it's designed. So what we'll do is we'll touch up all these bodgy solder joints. We'll fix this up to run on 9 volts instead of on 12 volts. Makes it easy to integrate on a pedal board. Put it back together, give it a good quality test to make sure everything's all the way it should be. Call the customer and let them know. It looks much, much better. Got rid of all those nasty, big, bulbous, globular things of solder. Touched up what was there. Put a jumper across the pins so that we now no longer have a 12 volt supply. We can run it safely on a 9 volt supply. Touched up everything we could. Got rid of any holes in the solder and the likes. Cleared up all the flux off of there. And now I'd say we're about ready to give it another test. Once it's all tested, send it on its way with a merry customer. All right. Powered up. Guitar plugged in, mic'd up. Yeah, that's some pretty hectic compression. Well, it's doing what it says on the box. It's compressing and sustaining. Nice. Cool. Well, that's one happy chappy, thankfully. Now we can send it on back to the customer. Give it a little bit of a wipe down, a bit of a clean, probably replace the grommet in the front because we have hundreds of them. And that's a pretty quick and easy repair all in all. It's always nice when it's a nice simple job. So until next time, we'll see you then.